Welcome to Live from Midgar, the Final Fantasy trading card game podcast recorded at Geeky, located in beautiful downtown Everett, Washington. In today's episode, Steve is joined by some of the most preeminent players in the Pacific Northwest and beyond to discuss all the latest in the world of Final Fantasy TCG. Now, without further ado, take it away, Steve.
Hey, this is Steve.
Phil.
Steven.
And Neil.
Hey, welcome to Live from Midgar. This is episode 37, and we're trying out continuing with the whole video podcast.
Yeah.
We should have this uploaded to SoundCloud as well, so those people who listen to us, you don't.
The normal way.
But if you do listen to us, we'll be on SoundCloud and everything.
The rest of you can stare at our ugly mugs.
Yeah.
We don't apologize.
So we got, about 5 new spoilers that were revealed
Nah, we
within
got
the
more
last
than
2
that.
days?
I mean, last 2 days, yeah, we got some spoilers, but we'll continue on from last week's spoiler list that we have. I'd like to kick it off with the card of the week, which is revealed by RB. Richie, she revealed FFTA2 character, and I think it's a very cool character.
It looks like a fire card, though.
We'll discuss the card. Neil, why don't you kick it off for us?
So we've got a new 2-drop Luso. It's going to be a forward, obviously, FFTA2. Job Youth. So all that youth support, getting some...
Get that love.
5k body. For each forward other than Luso you control, Luso gains 1,000 power. And if there are 3 or more different elements among forwards you control, Luso gains First Strike and Brave. And when Luso attacks, if there are 5 or more different elements among your forwards, Luso deals an opponent 1 point of damage.
It's a win character.
It's a win character.
Yeah.
So this would be the second card that has the potential to deal more than 1 point of damage.
Yep.
It has an auto ability of dealing damage, and there's a couple. I think Jekt is the only one that has an auto ability of being able to do a direct 1 damage,
like
right?
Yeah.
And then you have Archangel that deals 2 damage. I think those 2 are the only ones that does damage without actual doing the attack. You're forward doing
so
an attack.
Is that why he's all red, to make it look like he's a fire card?
So I think we talked about, we personally off camera, we talked about this, how I felt that Luso, this ability shouldn't be a wind ability. Being able to deal extra damage without an attacker. I honestly think it should have been a fire. Like Jekt has it, Palom has it. Right? Archangel also has this.
But it kind of works just like Bart's, where he gains First Strike and then he buffs up too.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Yeah. But I think just doing the damage, the extra damage, I think should have kept with fire. It stayed within fire.
Yeah.
I understand the multiple the Barts and stuff like that. It could have been anything else, something else. It could have, when it attacks, it activate, all your forwards or something. I don't know, something broken as shit too.
I think what it's trying to play off on this, though, is the different elements, though, and that's why it gave it that direct damage, is because if you control the 5 different elements...
It could have been anything else,
It could have been. But I think...
that the ability to do extra damage... I think should have stayed within fire, I think.
Biggest contender for this card, though, is comboing it with Yuri in a mono-win deck, because Yuri is all elements except dark. So you've already got all 5 right from the get-go when you play Luso and Yuri.
You get 6, right? It's also a light card also.
Well, I meant the 5-element condition for Luso.
Yeah. So that was one of the major things about this card.
And then Golbez is probably the only other one.
Golbez.
The FFTA2 group has kind of a diverse set of cards currently across elements.
Too diverse, I think.
So
we'll see later.
But I think from a constructed standpoint, this is only going to see play with Yuri or Golbez. In title, maybe. I don't even think this is a good limited card for draft or sealed. I think that you're going to have to just split yourself too far apart to make this, unless we start seeing more cards, even with the dual cards like Mog, if we see one of those type of cards for every color combination, because they're backups. But obviously that doesn't combo with that. What I'm saying is that if you have those types of cards, it will be easier to play forwards of another element. So it makes it a little bit, there. But, realistically speaking, I don't know.
So I was just thinking, if we go back to the old rules of when we used to draft, where your
God.
backups tap for anything, this Luso would be busted as fuck. But we're not doing that anymore. Right? so OP.
It would be. I'm honestly.
Yeah, 'cause you just pick your best body cards and
Yeah.
be like, oh, look.
It doesn't even matter, right? You just get a bunch of weenies if you get that Luso, some weenies, some cards. It doesn't matter as long as you have a good set of backups that is one color because you can just tap to play any form you want.
I'm with Neil in the fact that I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Next.
I can do this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we got revealed a new dark card.
Come on,
Steve's not very excited.
Bambic, we're trying to go in order, but it's all right.
It's okay.
Fine.
You got Chaos.
6-drop dark card, Chaos Mobius. It's a Job King, our first king. Yay.
Not our first king.
Not our first king.
Yeah, we got Leo, right?
Oh, that's true, Leo.
Yeah, Leo.
No, Leo's
Leo's the first. Leo's the first king, I believe.
I thought he was a prince.
And then we're getting the 15. We're getting the 15 king.
There's
He
a
was spoiled
15 king
before
also.
Mobius.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. So, anyways.
He's a 6-drop, 9K forward. It states when he enters the field, if the cost to play Chaos was fire, or included fire, deal 5,000 all forwards. If the cost to play Chaos included ice, your opponent discards a card from his hand. And if the cost to play Chaos included lightning, your opponent selects one monster they control, and they put it into the break zone.
On a 9K body.
On a 9K body. That's a pretty good card in a Fire Ice deck, in my opinion.
I think when we go back to what we talked about a number of episodes ago where we were talking about what it would take to play 5 and 6 cost cards, I think this card meets the conditions.
Yeah.
It's got the body. It does something when it comes in.
It's not as busted as Veritas.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it really holds contention of how you, depending on how you build your deck, you would rather run this one over Veritas, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about, I think people get caught up on, like, how do you utilize this to, max efficiency, which is running, hitting all 3 colors, lightning, ice, and fire. That's not the point of this. You just need to get one good hit.
Well, I mean,
right?
This
2 it's good, but even if you just get 1, that's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of falls down to like Yuri too. I mean, like you don't put Yuri in your deck hoping that you can get everything. I mean, you put Yuri in your deck kind of for specific reasons, and then you can kind of work from there if you need to.
Steve,
whereas this is kind of that same way.
Yeah. Steve had a good play that he was talking about earlier. You play the Sid Reigns, the 2-drop Sid Reigns, and then you play this Chaos after, and now your opponent discards 2 cards.
Yeah, so I'm currently playing Fire Ice right now. So in that, I don't think it would run well in Category 6 Fire Ice. But if you build a Fire Ice that does a lot of ping damage, that's doing some dulling and stuff like that to get in there, I think this will be a very good fit, better than Veritas.
Yeah.
Because you play this, you hit it off of Fire and Ice, you get 5,000 across the board, and you get 1 discard, and then you play Sid Reigns to make them discard again, and you get a 9K off their board while you get a 9K on your board.
Yep.
So that's a pretty big swing.
Yeah. And you could play with a Moogle deck, too, where you could get all the effects.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, I even joked about that.
Yeah.
He said it's like it's Moogle deck's trump card.
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Bring back the Moogles.
So I think I think from like Facebook and stuff like that, from what people were talking about, it was actually kind of contentious of whether it's really good or really bad. I'm leaning on it's a good card, I think.
I think it's a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things I like about at least this kind of a design for a light and dark card is a lot of the light and dark cards that we've got have been very, very super narrow in focus. And part of the idea about those cards is having the flexibility to play them in any color deck. And so if you get too narrow, you just lose out on that ability. I think that having a card that is modal like that gives you the ability to play it in a couple of different decks, which also allows you to see it in, you see it more than just one style, because you could see that being played in Fire Ice. You could play that in Ice Lightning. You could play it in a couple of different places.
Yeah, I think that's.
You could play that card. You play that card in Wind Ice. Fina and then Chaos.
Yeah. It's a good flexible
Well, not Ice. You need Fire.
Yeah,
so Wind Fire.
Wind Fire. Yeah. Phil,
What's up?
you should read the next one, whatever you find.
We have a huge list here.
We do.
Do
that one.
Liddy? Okay. Right. So we have a 3-drop Earth Liddy standard unit. It's a Crystal Chronic. Yeah.
Lilty.
Lilty?
Lilty.
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 Oh, okay.
Lilty.
Lilty.
No. Lilty. Sure. It's a Crystal Chronicles
It's actually
forward.
the race.
It's got an ability when Lilty blocks, choose 1 forward in your break zone, add it to your hand. And it's a 7K body.
Standard unit.
Just
standard
realized that this
That's
is a multiple copy on the field card.
Uh-huh.
Just realized that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be unique, but holy cow.
I see it being really good. It's just that finding a place for it is kind of tricky, I think, because there's a lot of good Earth cards.
Especially as a 3 cost, like Noctis, holds the contention as probably the best 3-drop Earth placeholder right now. Ingus is also a good choice. I know earlier Neil was saying that Ingus doesn't get played too much, but I still think it holds one of the a good spot there. I mean, it may not make the best. The top 50 cards you would put into a deck, but I think it's still a good 3-drop, right?
I mean, this brings back your Wolves if you're out of your Wolves. It brings back Noctis again if you ran out of your Noctises.
Right.
I mean, looking at this card, I think this card is, at best, it's a standard unit, which gives it a little bit of extra. So you can get, like, Necromancer. It helps with the Earth Warrior of Light. It helps with
Wind Warrior of Light if you're playing Earth Wind with that standard unit Warrior of Light.
There's definitely some support for this card that can make it see play. I mean, even if you could even run Fire Earth and you can Phoenix this thing back in.
Yeah.
And so, I think that there's a couple ways to get this guy bigger. It goes along with things like Pugilist and the other standard unit kind of Earth stuff that's going on. I feel like most of the time, though, it's gonna be one of those really high roll cards.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna have all of that out and you put this thing down and you're gonna be so far ahead by the time that's happening that it's not gonna matter. Or you're going to be playing a 3-cost card to switch it back for a 5-cost forward. I mean, legitimately, you're just going to be playing this card so it gets a 4 or higher cost back in your hand.
So I think the only time like this card would be really, really good would be, well, not only time. I mean, there's various of ways that this card can be good. But I was just thinking, getting your Cecil back to do the Cecil special, right? Mm-hmm. What's another like S ability that's really good?
Bart's.
Ursula.
Bart's, I guess, if you really wanted to. Ursula?
Yeah.
Yang Ursula.
Yeah.
Well, you and your monks, man.
Hey,
you and your
Phil
monks.
plays monks. Phil plays
it's
monks.
a solid
so.
deck, man.
Depending on
You and your monks.
Hey,
depending on what
doing 9K to afford with Ursula specials feels good, and then like bring it back so you can do it again. Yeah.
I mean, that is a pretty trick play right there. Like, they
is.
block and you can't kill it, so you bring the Ursula back and you're like, Ursula special, bitch.
Yeah. It's like, suck it.
I just want Loyalty to bring back Ardens just to be a dick.
Yeah, that'd be great for John Smith.
That's one more thing. I mean, this card in like a zombie type deck that's designed to like John's deck Immortal, where you've got the Ardens Immortality, where Ardens are hard to get rid of and the Vanille's hard to get rid of, and like if you're running Calbrina or stuff, if somehow you get caught and you get tricked, then you could just play this card and literally you just sacrifice this thing to be like, oh, I got a much better card.
Yeah, you don't even need a sacrifice if you can protect it with Titan or Cockatrice.
I mean, there's definitely some protection stuff going on, but you can't always guarantee on that. So
Phil can.
But, you can guarantee you're going to be able to block with generally block with this pretty regularly. That's about the best.
Hey, I mean, this card is definitely meant for playing defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what Phil does most.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll spend 5 minutes deciding, oh shit, what do I do? Do I play Titan? Do I play the Cock? Do I play Titan? What do I do? Oh, I got Graviton. I play the Titan.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I play the Cockatrice.
Yeah,
no, wait,
I play
no,
the Cockatrice.
No, Titan. No. I play the Cockatrice.
It works.
All right, we got a next card here. We got a lightning card to match Neil's color of shirt over here. So Neil, you can you get that for us?
Sure. It's the new 2-cost Goblin. You can get a new monster coming in. It is from a category Crystal Hunt. So take that.
Crystal Hunt. Oh yeah, it's the
card
shitty
game.
card game.
It's not a shitty card game.
I played it.
So-
It's pretty bad.
It's a monster.
you got to play with the expansion.
I also have the expansion. Did not play it with the
It's
expansion.
much better with the expansion.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay.
Job Goblin. During your turn, Goblin also becomes a forward with 5,000 power. When Goblin deals damage to your opponent, you may put Goblin into the break zone. When you do so, draw 2 cards.
Oh my God, Lightning is
Wait,
getting
what?
some draw cards. Holy crap.
So it's the same thing as the Tomberry, the Earth
It's like the
Tomberry,
Tomberry, where
right?
it becomes
So
a
on
forward.
your turn,
on your turn, it becomes a monster.
So I think last week we were discussing that this is slightly better than the pay one, but it's worse than the 0-cost one, right? It has a little bit more protection when you can turn it into a forward by paying 0.
Yeah.
But this is still really good.
This one.
That's true. Emperor is not part of the meta right now, I think. Not right now, anyways. It may come back. When Goblin deals damage to your opponent, you may put Goblin into the break zone. When you do so, draw 2 cards. Oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Dude,
Zidane.
you know what deck this would be seen in is Andrew's Knights and Squires deck for sure. Because he would, I feel he would play this, swing in, draw his 2 cards, and be able to pull the Palom that he needs. And make that deck even faster than it needs to be.
I think this card is good as another 2-cost alternative, Monster and Silence.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're running Urianger.
Yeah.
Because it helps you draw those cards, it helps you get to that stuff.
The LSA if you
it's pretty
haven't
easy to
pulled
get
it.
back.
Yeah.
You
know? Yep, so that's not an eventful card enough, so we'll keep on going. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah, so I want to do
You want to
this
read
one.
this one? Okay.
All right, so this one was actually released, I guess, spoiled by Alex. He's the writer for
Mysidia Post.
the Mysidia Post. Great writer. Everyone should, read this post and everything. But he spoiled this card, and I like it because he spoiled it by showing the Gundam.
Yeah.
The pilot thing. And this one actually looks like that, so it was pretty cool. It's a 3-drop ice airborne trooper. It's a standard unit. It's type O. It's a forward. Airborne trooper cannot attack. When a forward other than airborne trooper enters your field, airborne trooper loses all its abilities until the end of turn, and it's an AK forward. So I think this is really interesting, and I think it's a cool card. It's above the curve, right? It's a 3-drop AK, so that's above the vanilla curve. But
It's a defender.
Yeah, it's a defender. The one bad thing is that it cannot attack them. That's the limitations. But if you play something, like for instance, if you were to play like Genesis or Cujo or something like that, you get the dull and freeze, and you can get in there for a point of damage usually and stuff like that. The interesting thing about this was someone was saying like, hey, you can give it like Brave or something like that or let's say you're playing Ice Earth and you give it Brave and then you play a forward, it loses all its abilities. So whatever you gave it, it loses it. Right? It loses its Brave too.
But what you do is you play a forward and then you use Momody or Wool to give it the ability after it loses all its abilities.
But you also get to stack that yourself too.
So as long as it loses abilities before you give it Brave,
Is it constant? Isn't it constant?
Nope.
It's
No?
till the end of turn.
It's the end of turn.
Yeah.
So the moment you put something on it, it just goes away anyways.
Yeah.
Because for the whole entire turn, it just loses all abilities until end of turn.
You might be right.
So you can attach, like for instance, if you were to Belias this motherfucker, it would just lose it. It will lose first strike, I think. I think that's how it works.
I guess we'll wait though.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right.
I think you're right, but I also feel like if you play it forward and then you give it that ability afterwards, it would have that ability because it had already lost all the abilities that it currently had, is what I'm thinking.
Right, I
So,
understand.
Like, after it loses.
After it loses abilities, it won't lose anymore because
That makes sense.
that phase is already passed for it.
There's wording on cards we'd have to go back and look at.
Yeah.
I'm not quite versed enough, but there's wording on cards that there are a couple of other cards that have that same thing where it says all abilities until end of turn, and it counts for one version, and then there's one that just says lose all abilities and it counts for the other.
Right.
We just have to check it. So there's a couple of those that just kind of like full turn versus not full turn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the card. I think it's interesting. I feel like in the end they're doing interesting things with the typo ice cards because Shock Trooper was kind of the same way.
Right.
The 4-cost where you blow yourself up if there's no one on board. You can. I mean, it's interesting. I think it also works really well as just a defensive blocker when it comes to ice because if you run an ice, you can run the oh my god, what are they? The standard unit, the 3-pack.
The 3-pack.
The deep ground soldiers.
The deep ground
The deep ground
soldiers,
soldiers. So you can find those, and then this guy's going to be a 10K. If you have your Sid, if you have your
Duke Lark?
Duke Lark out, he's a 11.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
He gets big.
Yeah, he does. If you play Duke Lark, it's a 3-drop 9K, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty good. And if you read the Mysidia post, he actually Alex goes through about his card and goes into very details of the card and stuff. So you should. So we're gonna have a link below, and you should definitely go and see it and read it.
Sure. Did we talk about this one?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet, but I think this one's a better one.
Okay, I'll do this one after that one.
Okay.
All right, so we'll do a new fire card. 4-cost Irvine. We get another Irvine.
Yes,
much better. Pictologica, Final Fantasy VIII. Backup, Job Sniper. When Irvine enters the field, choose one forward, deal it 5,000 damage.
Oh my god, so good.
The on-running
so good.
The on-running joke here, though, is that it still can't kill Edia without help. Which, yeah, those of you who, okay.
Yeah, if you play the game, you get it.
But if the number of forwards your opponent controls is greater than the number of forwards you control, Irvine actually does 7,000 damage instead.
So much better.
So much better. Much better than the other Irvine, for sure.
I mean, I'm playing the old Irvine in my deck. I switched out the Sid 5K, 8K, if it's the fifth backup.
Yeah, well, you just
Irvine.
pretend that old Irvine is this Irvine, and you play test it.
I would think I would still play this Irvine. I like this Irvine.
I think this Irvine's great. It's not amazing. I think it's
getting there, though.
I wish it didn't have this condition.
Yeah.
I wish it was just a 4-drop 7K. What's so bad about it, right? If you really think about it, did it really need to have this restriction? Because the 3-drop Irvine does 3. It's pay 3 and it does 6,000, and you pay 1 more now, and you get to do 1 more 1,000 damage, right?
But 1,000 less if you don't meet the conditional.
Yeah. So, and the problem is a lot of cards can react to it. So, for instance, if you play Irvine and so you have to have more, correct?
They
have to have
They have to have more.
So they have to have more.
So you're playing this card from behind to get maximum damage.
Okay. So I don't think anyone will be stupid enough to break their own forwards. I don't think anyone would be stupid enough to bounce their shit. Unless you're Water and you have Viking, it might be worth it too.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
It
has a condition. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's another fire card that we know that gets the condition, and I think as Miles would say, not that I enjoy quoting Miles all the time, but sometimes he's right. And it's one of those things that like we're designing. Fire's being designed too safely, and I think part of it is Fire has so many addition stuff. They're running Warmech. You've got a Roa now, which is becoming pretty popular in most Fire decks.
Yep.
You've got the Palom that does additional damage. You've got a number of different ways to boost those skills. We haven't even seen the whole set, so who knows? Maybe abilities are going to see some boost too. So it's one of those things that like these cards seem to come out on curve-ish or right below curve with a condition, and it just kind of hurts these cards because this card, most of the time, unless you're playing it from behind, is worse or as good as the other Irvine.
And the bad thing is it takes up
and it's more expensive.
It takes up a backup spot, right? So if you play that, most likely you won't be able to play another one. Yeah. If you're playing Mono Fire, let's say, right? If you play this, you will not be able to play another Irvine for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I've tried to play Furion to be able to kill stuff. It doesn't work out very well. Most of the time, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it to break backups.
I've tried.
So that's the thing. I think it's going to be perfectly fine if it's a 4-drop 7K. They're not going to be able to play it ever again for that match, right? It's not like they're going to be dropping Irvines every fucking turn, right? It's a one-time deal. Help them catch up a little bit.
It'll be fun and limited.
Yeah. Anyways, the thing that I wanted to say was I forgot. Oh yeah, there was a funny post on Facebook that someone posted, and they had the 4-drop Seymour that didn't have a condition that was pretty good, right? That's the one a 3 or less and just breaks it. That's a better 4-drop. What was the other 4-drop that's better than this shit and doesn't have a condition?
I don't remember what it was. It was good.
Yeah, it was a good.
Refer to the forums.
Yeah. So, go to Facebook,
Fire continues to get weird conditionals for no apparent reason.
Yeah. Anyways, Bambic, you can go on to your next card word.
Yeah. So we got a new win card, another Tactics Advanced 2 card. It's a 4-drop Adele. 7K states if you control a category FFTA2 other than Adele, Adele gains 2,000 power and haste. And then if you control 5 or more backups, Adele cannot be blocked. I'm torn between this and the other one, truthfully. I feel the other one is more powerful currently, but I feel if they get more TA2 cards, this one will be better in the long run because it's a 4-drop 9K if you have that other one. And if you're running Wind Lightning, definitely with, what's her fucking name? Ilua on the field, then she gets that 2K boost and the haste.
Yeah.
So you play Ilua, then you play Adele, and then you swing. And then if you have 5 or more, she can't be blocked.
Yeah,
So.
I think this card is mostly intended for title decks. I mean, just because, it wants you to play FFTA too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this card, I think this card, situationally, depending on your deck build, is actually better than the other Alua. And I think that because...
You mean Adele.
Or, sorry, not Alua. The other Adele. Apologies. Hello. So...
It's another card Miles is going to hate when he faces against it and he realizes that it can't be blocked and he dies.
I like it in a mono wind deck. I like it in a mono wind deck because you're not having to spend the extra wind every turn to play it. It's got a little bit better of a body. So, yes, it's undercurve for a 4K, but it's going to be harder to just incidental kill. That 5K Adele without Maria on the board just gets killed by pretty much everything.
Yep.
You cough and it dies. And Wind now with the FF Crystal Chronicles backups ramps really, really quickly. Yep. This Adele can come down turn 2 or 3 and be unblockable and be, harder to deal with.
I think it's really good. Is it a legend?
Or it is a hero.
It's a hero.
I think it's crazy that it's a fucking hero card, because if you really think about it, if you're at 5 or more backups, it just can't be blocked, right?
Yeah.
So you just literally have to do 9k damage to kill it, or it's just going to stay on the board.
Yeah.
You need to have a 9k or a 10k blocker or something, or have tricks up your sleeves to kill this bitch.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you have the Maria out, you're looking at, needing 10K or 11K not to lose.
Like, what the fuck do you do? Like, if they literally have, let's say it's a Fire Wind FFTA 2 deck, like, what the fuck do you do with this card? They have Belias now, right? If they're playing Fire Wind, so they have Belias in their hand, and it's not going to...
One cost Belias, just like, oops.
Yeah, one cost Belias gets first strike and 1K.
What Fire TA2 forward is there right now?
There are lots of standard units.
Yeah.
Oh, the standard units.
They're all the standard units.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, Soldier, Warrior. Gotcha. I got it. I know.
Yeah. So, I mean...
I like this card,
you also
though.
get the 2-drop Luso in there. You play it with Yuri. I don't know. You can go fucking
Yuri's Crystal Chronicles, unfortunately.
I mean, but Yuri's... I mean, you don't play Luso without Yuri.
Right.
Unless you're playing Globus.
I gotcha.
Right. So... I think this card can be really busted. If you don't have an answer for it, you're fucked. I think that's what it comes down to.
And I just like the art on this one. I think this is a really good art.
Also, it's going to be full art.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the art's really nice.
It's got like this demonic
look
in her face.
I feel like the 3-drop is still better than this one. Just because you could just pay one more win CP, just make it unblockable, and then you swing it.
Yeah, but somebody will just blow it up. Well, it's 5. The biggest issue though is
you can basically blow up anything. In this game.
Right,
this one's harder.
This one's harder to blow up because if you meet the conditionals, it's a 9K.
Yeah, but
there's not a lot of stuff that can deal with 9K
but
except
the only
fire.
way you can meet the conditionals if you pretty much play this late game.
Yeah, it will be a late game finisher. Yeah. You're going in there for that 5th damage.
Yeah, but as Neil said, with all the
that's a very limited situation, I would say.
Neil does have a point though. With all the Crystal Chronicle backups now, you can literally play this on turn 2, turn 3.
Yeah.
With being unblockable.
Yeah, I mean, it's in win, so you've got your Stola. It's got protection. It's got a number of things.
And
but also, I mean, it's a late win con. I mean, you can play. I mean, if you're running 3 backups, 3 or 4 backups, you could play Lesaford, and hit this card and play it to give it haste if you have something on board. You can search for it if you run a Wind Lightning. You can search for it with Civ Clan Goalie. Yeah. I mean, this card is. I mean, it can win con because you can grab it and play it. I mean, you can have stuff on board. Because that's the thing, is that people are going to expect
get the shitty one.
People are going to expect that you have the ability to, that you might not have it, might not have it. But they're going to have to, if you have that FFTA2 forward out that isn't Adele, then they have to guess.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Do you not have it? Do I have to kill this? Do I have to wait? And so it's just kind of one of those conditionals. I don't know. I think she's going to be good.
In a Wind Lightning deck, though, Alua pretty much protects this card, hands down. Because they have to spend more resources to get rid of that Alua than they would with the Adele. And Adele's a 9K. The moment you have Alua down and you play Adele's a fucking 9K.
It honestly doesn't matter. If you can play a decent body FFTA2, what has to happen is you probably can't kill a 9K straight up, right? It's probably easier to kill whatever's on the board.
That's
buffing it, and kill that, and then kill Adele, right? So they have to kill this and pay like 3 or 4 CP to kill one of them, and then target Adele to kill that one. And they're spending so much CP to do that, just to combat Adele.
Yeah. And the other great thing about it, which you don't think about, is one of the things I dislike about cards like this that kind of play in the whole, like, you need another card to be able to get the buff, is you get dominoed. so you get 2 for 1 easily.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
card, if you play this card when you have the 5 backups, you're not getting 2 for 1. So you're not going to get combat tricked. Your 2K buff isn't going to get combat tricked into a block. So, you could potentially, you have to worry about Hecaton for that, but now we're talking a much more specific situation, which makes it, much less likely to happen. Because I play a couple of people that play Dragoons pretty regularly, and I can bait them into situations where, like, I block their Dragoon and kill 2 other Dragoons, and, like, now they're dead.
Yeah.
So I just trade up,
Yeah.
But the thing about this is it's still really good. If you have 5 backups, you swing with the Adele first, and even if they kill the other one, I mean, you can't block to kill my Adele anyways, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's still pretty solid. I don't want the crappy one. I don't know who spoiled this, but
Miles.
Yeah.
No.
It was a YouTube post. Mogpod? So it was a YouTuber. Somebody on the YouTube.
I don't think it's that bad.
I just don't like it.
You know? Miles likes it.
I mean, Miles can like whatever he wants.
All right.
All right, Phil.
So
All right.
Put it in the comments. Like this.
So we have a White Mage water backup 2-drop standard units. It's a FFTA2. When this White Mage enters the field, you may pay 1 water CP, and when you do so, draw a card. So
A TA2 that's not
alright.
getting a full art.
Okay.
It's a standard unit, so yeah, it won't.
It's a water
that's
card that
his.
does water things where
Yeah.
you get more cards.
So
And it's cheap too.
I mean, is it because you're paying 3 anyways? So let's just.
Yeah.
I'd rather have.
It's better than Gramps.
I think it's.
It's better than Grants, but the thing is I'd rather play a Searcher card anyways if I'm paying 3 drop.
Honestly,
But
that's true.
but it's one more. It's a pseudo 3-drop. I like the fact that it can be a pseudo 3-drop, whereas you can play it as a 2-drop if you want to and just not get any value out of it.
No, that's
or if you have-
horrible. I would never want that to happen. I would discard the fuck out of that
Yeah,
card.
but sometimes,
if that's the
sometimes that's
2-drop
the
that
only
I'm gonna
2-drop you
play,
have.
the only 2-drop that you don't get like a lot of value off of is like Artemision, and that's like a really good 2-drop that doesn't have any abilities. It's just blank or whatever, and that's a really good one. But this one, if I have to play that first, I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, man. I'll fucking discard this and play Layla Viking or something.
But if that's the only card you have sometimes, and then you can play it off an odd backup, and it actually will give you value.
Yeah, that's not Steve for you, though.
I don't know.
I'd much rather run a 3 of Artemision or something like that than this 2-drop.
No, I say it's good just because you're kind of basically playing it for free.
Phil, you don't play mono water.
Hey,
You don't play mono water.
Hey, he can still have his opinions. He can still have his opinions.
I mean, like, it comes back to it's part of one of the next spoilers, but it was also an article that Jeff Curran just posted for Christarium. God, I can never remember their name. Sorry, Jeff.
your name's like fucking dude.
but he talks about the power of being able to just cycle cards, and so any deck that gives you the ability to draw more cards gets you deeper towards more backups, which gets you deeper for more stuff, which is one of the advantages that Water has, and which is one of the things that I know whenever I'm playing against Water I hate, because it literally is like I'm always waiting for them to pull that trump card, which is usually Cloud of Darkness. It's literally, do you have it already and you're going wide so that you can cloud me, or are you going wide to draw more cards so that you'll eventually have that Cloud of Darkness? And so it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because either you have to keep them clear, which with Viking and stuff draws them more cards and gets them closer to that, or they're just going to kill you anyways.
Play Artemision instead.
Or both. Play both.
Yeah, or play both.
No, don't do that.
All right, Neil.
All right, the other one I was going to go to was one that was Christarium. See, it's right there. Look at that. From. It even says from.
Krista.
Oh, that was from White Mage YouTube. That was specific.
Oh, White
anyways,
Mage. Actually got a White Mage.
So, anyways, FFTCG Christarium. So Jeff and that group spoiled Gareth. We've got a 4-cost non-unique card, standard unit from Final Fantasy XII. It's an Earth forward, 8K body. And if you happen to control 5 or more Earth characters, Gareth gains 2,000 power.
So
this is good.
I like
So
this
good.
card.
This is really good.
I like this card in Constructed. I like this card in Limited.
It's really good. What
It gets super big.
Is this FF12?
FF12.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Does FF12 have a decent title?
yes.
Do
Yes, they do.
The
They
Sky
do?
Pirates.
Okay.
Sky Pirates, but
But you don't run any standard units, so that would not go into.
No.
No, you don't run any earth in that.
Yeah, there's like no earth in it,
Earth
right?
in Final Fantasy 12.
No.
Yeah, it's really good because of all of the. I mean, you've got all of the great summons. You've got Kukulain and Belias and all of those. That's what helps 12 a lot. And the Sky Pirates are much easier to do when you can play all 5 Vaughns.
Right?
When you can play all 5 Vaughns and not have to worry about name considerations, they get better.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this card. I think it's a good 4-cost standard unit. It goes in a lot of the Earth standard units. It's a great target for the old Warrior of Light that we had and a couple of other things. I think that this is a really good card. And in limited, if you're running a Earth heavy primary, you're going to get a number of these things. It's also a common.
Yeah.
So like if you are drafting, this is going to be like drafting Pugilist and Psycom Enforcer. Like I remember in Limited, I'd grab as many Psycom Enforcers as I could, even though I could only have 3 of them on the field. If you had 6 in your deck, every time you play one, you get another one. So they're not getting rid of them, and they just get big real quick. This thing's going to be a 10K, pretty regular. In a limited deck, it's going to be hard to deal with.
Yeah, and then you can play 3 of them too.
And you can play 3 of them.
And
It's
it's
fucking
just gross.
busted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it will be a really for Constructed. I think it will be really interesting for with the Warrior of Light package and running this. I think it will be really good. And speaking of, I'm just going to transition out to Phil. We're all good, right?
Yeah.
So Phil, speaking of Warrior of Light, transition. We actually got a copy of. Oh, not we. Sorry, Phil has a copy of the Final Fantasy Annual, the book, and he got this in. He brought it in, and it comes with what probably everyone got this. The sole reason of getting this thing is these things. So it's super cool. It came in for Phil, and Phil brought it to show it off.
Yep.
And
there's no way to get those cards out without actually destroying the package.
Yeah, you have to destroy the pack to get this.
That's
I
a
thought they
little
were going to be
sad.
like little slots in
Like
the
a
book.
perforation
Yeah.
slide or
But
something.
that's really sad. I don't like that. Like, if you really do end up, they do end up coming out with a lot of these anniversary cards, but they all put them in like this.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's like there's no way to take them out
Nicely,
cleanly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like you definitely have to destroy the cardboard that it's like encased in.
Yeah.
So
nice, though.
I don't think it's meant to be played.
But you
Yes.
can.
Yeah, you can, but like if it's like played horizontally, does that mean it's always dull? Or you have to-
They've said officially that you're supposed to play the normal orientation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The card will look normal when it's dull.
Right, gotcha.
That's
Yeah.
stupid.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's like, I think this is just for collectors.
Yeah, I do love the artwork and the foiling on it.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's pretty gorgeous. Yeah,
Um,
it's a mono art too.
and some mono art.
It is true. The
Though-
best.
The thing is you should buy 2. So you
One to keep, one to
keep,
play.
and one to play. So
So what you're saying is 4.
Huh?
3, so you have the collection and the one that you can play.
I mean, I think it's technically legal to play different languages.
Yep.
Yeah,
is.
it
So they have all these different languages on it, which is really cool. I think that was
you're
already
set.
about. Like there's like French in here, and German, and
Spanish,
Spanish, and Japanese, Chinese, and English, and all that stuff.
No
so
Korean though. Interesting. Weird.
But is it in Korean?
This is
yet?
weird.
I don't think it's in Korean yet, though.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
in Korean. Yeah.
So
That's what I'm
there's
saying.
no Final Fantasy trading card presence in Korea. So
Get on that, Steve.
I'm going to Korea. I'm going to Korea. I'll get this started up.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, and then the book, I think there was some controversy with the book a little bit. I think it wasn't warmly received.
Yeah, I have some issues with it. I mean, it's like not really particularly that interesting if you have like all the cards already, because that's basically what this is, just a checklist of all the cards from Opus 1 to Opus 6. Or
They give
Opus
you a
4,
little
Opus
checkbox
4.
too?
No, but
That'd be
there's
awesome.
a unnecessary index that you pointed out earlier. I mean, yeah, sure.
What
that's
what
the
about
thing.
the from the World Champions? Didn't they have like a little thing about the champions?
They
or?
just have a list of like
Just the names?
champions.
Show
Yeah, the
them
names of
the-
the champions.
I thought there would be like a forward
No.
or something like that.
So,
So-
I actually thought it would be really cool. Talk about the tournament. Talk about the uniqueness of the tournament. You know,
Or have deck lists or something.
have a deck
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Have what fucking deck they were running that won. They don't
Yeah.
have that. They
It's
have the
just name.
champion and the
Look,
name,
Look at the space. Look at the space.
and they have the pictures of it. It's. I think this is a really good idea. And it looks really cool. I wish
Did
there was
more.
some. If they added a little bit more details to it, I think it would have been
Yeah,
for sure.
a clear winner.
Like give it more value for actual
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know?
it is the first one, and so that's feedback we can give. I think that definitely in some of those big tournaments or like Worlds or stuff, having the top 2 or 3 deck lists, or at least the champions deck list,
Yeah.
that gives us an idea of also not only do we get to see the cards that they've had,
It
you know, we get to see all the
immortalizes
cards,
them.
but
Yeah.
it immortalizes them. It gives you a deck that can say like this is the deck that happened. It can also show you at the time what was being played in the opus
most,
at
yeah.
that time, in like that time.
Yeah.
So it gives you an idea of what was happening because, you know, it's kind of a reflection back on what happened. And so to not be able to, you know, immediately say this is the deck that person played or this is what won Nats or the championship or Worlds or whatever, I think is a little bit of a missed opportunity.
Yeah, because it'd be more of a history of how the game's grown.
yes,
changed.
the annual
Yeah.
of Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
like the
like what it's actually
so
named.
so adamantly named Annual 2017.
But no lie, it's a really pretty book, I guess.
I do enjoy
The
that
cover's nice.
the back actually looks like the back of the trading card.
Yeah, it's a nice hardcover too.
Yeah, the quality of the book itself is pretty good. I
Yeah.
think.
Stuff
Top
that's
notch.
in it needs to be, at least the section on the champions needs to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I think so.
Although the way it was packaged to me kind of sucked, just saying.
Package your shit better, man.
Yeah, because you could tell like the corners kind of got
Oh, yeah.
dented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were a couple people that were talking about having had damaged books as well. Like
Yeah.
there's some big
A lot of
big
companies.
knocks in the edges, like you know, on this
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
on
yeah,
this edge
yeah,
right here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Square doesn't actually send out a lot of books.
Well, they need to like put like those air pocket things that Amazon does.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're not Amazon though.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately.
They can use Amazon.
Yeah.
Use Amazon. All right. So I know. Looks like you have that card. We can go over it.
I just had some of the other spoilers. We don't have
Just
to
grab
do
one of
everything
them.
we
We'll
need
do
to.
one more, I guess, and then we can jump
whatever.
into some other stuff that's going on in the locals and all that stuff.
Which
Pick
one do you
one.
think's more interesting?
I don't know. It's up to you, man. I think didn't we
Do
do
the
the
do the
didn't we
Earth.
that?
We didn't do this one.
Oh, we just talked about
We
it.
talked
You and
about
I
this one.
talked
Do
about
the
it.
Regis.
You want to do Regis?
Yeah.
All right,
We
do
haven't done Regis.
what? No,
Well,
no.
No.
Either that or the core.
Oh, Regis
There's a
is-
lot.
we talked
There's a
about
lot.
Regis.
So we're just
All right,
picking-
we're just gonna
do
we're just
one.
gonna go with go.
Okay, there we go.
Go,
All right,
go,
that's
go,
fine.
go,
Okay.
go. 3 cost, water forward, job mime, category 6, 7,000 body. He has an action ability for 0 cost. You can choose 1 forward opponent controls. Gogo gains his or her action ability until the end of the turn. You can only use this ability once per turn.
Pseudo Yuri. If they have a Yuri.
You still have to pay for it. The payment still has to be made.
Well, no, I know that, but 0 cost to get Yuri's ability, and
Yeah.
if you're playing mono water, fucking fuck his Yuri up before they fuck you up.
So if you get Yuri's ability, you can only use it once, meaning that you only get the one tap. You can't do multiple, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. I just wanted to make sure.
Choose 1 forward, Gogo
No,
gains
I
his
would-
action ability
It's
until the end of
till
turn. Until the end of
so
turn.
You can use
As
it
As
before
long
you
as you
solve
have the
it.
mana to dole
Oh,
him,
you can use the 0 thing
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
can.
so if you get his action ability, you get the whole text box.
Yeah, okay, you get the whole text box. All right.
yeah.
I think it's interesting. I'm really glad they're doing this kind of stuff.
Yep. Stealing.
Yeah, the stealing the ability. I think it's really cool.
I think it'd be better
it's
if it was
flavorful.
backup, or character. But I understand why it's not.
Yeah.
I want my Gogo to be able to mill people.
Can you
This coffee Rikus.
can you
Yeah.
imagine using this with Sephiroth?
For what?
Oh no, he doesn't have an action ability. Never mind.
he has
He's
a
got a
S
special,
ability.
yeah.
The S ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking something else there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple cool cards that it can grab some stuff of. but-
Ishtola would be one of them.
Yes.
They have an Ishtola and they're trying to cast a summon. You steal Ishtola's ability and you break your Go-Go to cancel their summon.
Yep,
Yep.
that's a smart move.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's one.
Sick.
Yeah, just what mono water needed.
More power.
Yeah,
Power. Okay. So
Unlimited power.
They can already they already now get like 9 fanfrits a game. So after Nova signed, so
so we're moving on for this weekend.
Yeah. So last week we had
Vancouver, BC.
Vancouver,
LQ.
BC, the BC LQ. I believe there was 15 people.
Yep.
And our boy here, Phil, went to it and
Didn't
got
make top
wrecked.
8.
Did not make it. Yeah.
So
At least he didn't pull
Way
a
to go,
Steve,
number
though.
10.
What
Way to
happened
go,
there?
Number 10.
I faced people
lost.
that I knew, and they wrecked me.
Okay.
Were you playing Earth?
Yeah.
Were you playing Monk, sir?
Yes, I was playing monks.
Of course
Let me
you
guess.
were.
It had Ingus in it, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
it actually did all right, but
Yeah, it got you. It did all right. It got you to
10th place.
10th out of 15.
there are a lot of. Thanks.
Already okay.
Thanks.
Take a bow, Phil.
There were a lot of 2-2s, so I had to deal with those tiebreakers and whatnot.
Yeah, but you got 10th.
Look, okay, guys.
You didn't get 9th,
Listen.
but you got 10th.
Okay.
Maybe if you didn't play Monk Earth, you might have gotten 9th.
It's not because of that. It's because I had to face John Smith with his Arden deck, and then I also had to face Canadian Philip.
You mean Philippe?
It's Phil.
It's Philip. It's Philip, but I don't think he minds how you call him, but
I think he forgives us because we're American.
yeah, but that could be it too. But yeah, he played really well. I think I made a misplay and that cost me the game. John just wrecked me.
Our boy Ryan got top 8, though.
Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan Chen.
Yeah, Ryan, Philip, John, and Ryan's friend Will. They made it to top 8, but unfortunately, they all did not make it.
Yeah, so
to
Vancouver actually got to hold their title, and the local qualifier was won by a Canadian. So congratulations, well deserved.
Correct, yeah.
I
You faced John in the finals, right?
No, John got knocked out in the semifinals.
Gotcha,
I believe.
gotcha.
He was playing a mono win player, and he's the one actually who eventually won. The mono win player. You were there, man. I'm asking you.
Oh, you asked me?
Bitch, I'm asking you.
I actually left early.
Phil got 10th,
we
and he
had
was
a
just like, I
website
don't
that
want to be
might
here
do this.
anymore.
No, it's more like I had family that hang out with. So
No,
Okay.
Phil, you got 10th, and you decided that you just couldn't take it anymore, so you left.
right. I got butthurt.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying?
yeah. You left in shame.
That's totally it.
It's not up yet.
It doesn't look like it's up. I was hoping that maybe it was on FFX. But
Yeah. But anyways,
it's because Alex wasn't there. No, seriously, Alex is usually the one who posts all that information. He wasn't there.
He
So.
was like at
He's
a
busy.
bachelor's party.
Yeah, he's
or
busy.
something.
Yeah, he's busy having real life stuff going on. So.
Yep. Got real life shit. to
How
do.
How was the scene though, Phil?
It was okay. I mean, it was like Magic Stronghold was pretty cool.
Was it as organized as Epic? You think?
No, well, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean,
way.
there were 15 players, so
Gotcha.
it's a very small group. Man, if a lot more Seattle people went up, it'd be pretty bomb. Be pretty
If
awesome.
I got my passport next time, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of Canadians tend to have passports and stuff, but Americans we're like,
I
Which
got
is
one.
we're already in the best country. You don't need to leave.
I'm not going to go there, but it's also funny because we're all in Washington State, and come next year if we want to fly out to any other state, we're going to have a passport because our state didn't do the
Our
enhanced
state's-
license
yeah.
properly.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
even hilarious because none of us have. Well, I don't mean none of us. I have my passport, but a lot of us don't have our passports.
Yeah, Steve doesn't even have a passport. No.
I have a passport. I have a Korean passport.
Yeah.
I have a Korean passport that I can't go to Korea with.
Okay.
Just get sent to the army in Korea if I go.
So yeah, Canada LQ was cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. It was very good. And congratulations to the winner.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
I have
then-
no idea.
I would. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it even posted on any of the groups I was following up with. I don't think there's any info about it.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Get that shit posted. Get the deck list up.
Yeah,
So
Philippe, get on it.
Yeah, man. Anyways, we have another one coming up
This Sunday?
This Sunday, and that is going to be at Critical Strike, and that they are located in Edmonds.
Yep.
Edmonds, Washington. What's the start time for that?
So 12 o'clock is it? They'll be open at 11 o'clock.
So it starts at 12. So get there, get ready, get prepped. I believe it should be a decent turnout.
They're expecting around 29. They have about 14 signed up right now.
They're expecting 29. All right, so we'll see how that goes.
And they do have the Zidane promos for the winners.
Yeah, so they're part of the Wave 2 qualifiers, so they are going to have the Zidane promos there. It should be really fun. So all the people who are located in the area, you should all come, have fun. It will be a good time.
It's going to be great.
What deck are you going to be playing, Steven?
Tell
everyone your plans, how you're going to win.
I'm torn between two decks.
Okay.
And that's all I'm giving you.
That's all you're going to give it.
It's either going to be Fire Ice or it's going to be Earth Fire.
Okay.
Something with fire in it.
Okay. So Monk. So next.
Whoa. Hey, I can pull 180, man. I can play fire or something.
So Monk. All right, Neil. If you were going, are you going?
I'm going.
You're going. So
I'm
what
going.
would you?
I got it off.
You got it off.
I think I'm going to play the Monofire deck that I've been playing.
Monofire deck that you've been playing. Okay. So
Steve's not going.
Yeah. I'll probably go. We'll see. I probably will.
So, Phil, what are you truly playing?
Monk.
I don't know.
Monk.
He's supposed to grab his microphone and speak into it.
I don't know.
I mean, it sounds the same, whatever. You know. My mic, his mic.
Kind of, because we're both Asian, whatever. You know.
That's not what I said.
What?
Anyways, I don't know. I could be playing monks, or I could be playing mono ice. I've been testing that out.
I know he's probably going to play that janky Dragoon deck too.
I don't know. I do have my power reduction deck, which is
janky.
It's meh. I don't think it's good enough for anything. It's just fun to play.
I mean, your monks are better than that, but even then.
Yeah. I think my monk deck is probably the best deck I have to play against.
Just don't get 10, Phil.
Just need to not make misplays. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that goes for everyone.
Yeah.
Don't make misplays. That's a very good point, you know. There's another interesting that's going on at the same time, actually. This week on Sunday, there will be actually day 2 of the Wind Crystal Cup. So Wind Crystal Cup in Kansas will be happening in June 21st on Saturday. That's day 1. And day 2 will be on the 22nd. This is a very special Crystal Cup because it is actually the first in North America to have the draft format.
Draft on
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is it's going to be Swiss best of 1 for the first, and they're going to cut to top 32, and the top 32 will play draft.
Yep. And
they will draft to cut to top 8. So it will be really interesting to see how the North American players do. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are really good at Constructed, but do extremely well in in drafting and stuff like that, and vice versa. Like for instance, Jeff Curran's a really, really good player at both Constructed and draft, but
he prefers draft more than
I think he really likes draft. So I think there will be people who will come and do extremely well because of the draft portion. Yeah.
And if you're a really good draft player, top cut to 32. Even if you're talking 90 to 100 people that show up, we're talking, top third. Yeah. So it's not too difficult to get into.
Yeah.
And if you play very, very well in draft, it gives you a very good shot at making it pretty far.
I'm actually really excited to see how day 2 goes because I'm actually going to go to the Arizona Crystal Cup come September, which they are also doing the draft format as well.
Right.
So.
When is the Arizona?
Arizona is 13th and 14th, which is
September
13th and 14th. Yeah, my birthday weekend. Woohoo!
Yeah,
present for you.
Yes, indeed.
No one cares.
Shut up, Steve.
He cares.
Huh?
He cares.
Oh, he cares.
I care.
So no one else cares.
No one else
see?
cares.
God. At least I won't be playing monks though.
Wait, monks are great, man.
I don't want to get 10th.
They're strong.
I don't know.
10th out of Crystal Cup is pretty good, man, actually.
Honestly, though, legitimately, Bambic, with as much, if he's playing the right monks, with as much, Laswell Fire Ice has been going around, it just gives that the finger. So it might not
that's
actually,
true.
I mean, it's a decent meta counter right now.
Yeah, go Matt.
Okay.
No.
So there's also another
Yang.
another Crystal Cup. I believe is in Virginia. Richmond, Virginia is also having another one. I forget what that one was. That's the Lightning
one, I think. Let's see. Let me pull it up here.
I know a couple of people that I've met through going to Nationals and Crystal Cups. Another really good player, Tony Jin. He placed, I think, on the previous Crystal Cup. I think he got I think he top 8'd, I believe.
Where's he from?
He's from Canada, Ottawa. Ottawa?
Yes, Virginia is the Lightning
Ottawa.
Crystal Cup.
Ottawa. He also placed top 8 in the Water Crystal Cup, and he placed top 8 also again at the Ice Crystal Cup in Toronto.
Man, you just can't take a break.
Yeah, so
Lightning is July 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
so I believe
Virginia.
I personally know him, and he said he's going to the Virginia one.
That's
Virginia.
also mixed.
That's going to be mixed, so he and I were talking about it, and he's going to that one. So good luck to him on that when that happens, and we'll bring it up
And
again.
then the last chance will be the Dark Crystal Cup in LA.
There's been some contention with that. Some people are saying that won't take place, and some people are saying that will take place. So I don't.
It's definitely on their list.
Is it on their list?
It's
Yeah,
on their
it's
list.
Okay, so
been
whoever
officially
told me that,
announced.
they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, Orange, California. They haven't announced a date yet.
It's gonna be
for it,
right before the Nationals.
But yeah, it is there, and it's mixed format as well.
I had heard that, no, it says standard constructed.
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Format
yeah.
standard
Yeah,
constructed.
yeah.
I've heard what I was hearing is that it might not have the same type of price structure as the current ones.
Yeah,
like
it's
you don't
all like that.
Yeah.
like you don't get a winning that Dark Crystal Cup.
This
doesn't
one gets you into
Worlds.
Nationals.
It
Just
just
to
leads
Nats.
to Nationals.
Yeah, so it is.
So it's the
different.
same as what happened last year. It's the last
Yeah.
chance qualifiers, pretty
Basically,
much.
yeah.
I think also the rumor is the top 8 will actually get to go to Nats because they're not giving a World's prize. The
Yeah.
top 8 will get to go to Nats instead,
Yeah. So
which is still nice.
yeah, which is pretty good. I mean, apparently, guys like Tony Jin who can never get top 4 can go here and get top 8, and at least he can go to Nationals, right? So there you go, Tony. That's the place where you want to go.
That's a good strategy for him.
All right. So I think that's it. We've gone over pretty much all the stuff that we wanted to. Thank you for joining us and listening to Live from Midgar. This has been Steve.
Phil?
Steven,
And Neil.
Bye.
see ya.
Cheers.
This has been Live from Midgar, the Final Fantasy Trading Card Game podcast recorded at Geeky Villain. For more information, make sure to visit us on Facebook and to check out our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening, and as always, please stay geeky.